Hold on to your mug. We're in for a wild night.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Born to be Wild listener series. My name is Nate Wolfe. I'm one of the hosts of the Born to be Wild podcast. I am joined here tonight by two good friends, NHLFan and Doctorfeesh. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, Feesh, how are you?
Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Yeah, how you doing, Feesh?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Having a good night so far.
Excellent. Well, this should be a lot of fun. We are now in the top 4 of the listener series. So this is the last match leading up into the finals. So last night we cast a match between SchmoopieDaddy and JordanMG. Jordan took the win there, and so tonight we're watching TheCyberon face off against GingerNinja, and the winner of tonight's match will face off against Jordan in the finals. So very exciting. For those of you who are not familiar with the Born to be Wild listener series, essentially what it is an 8-week wild Hearthstone tournament with custom deck building restrictions. Each week there are different deck building restrictions to kind of keep things fresh. So the way that this series works, it is played in the Conquest format. To briefly recap, to play a round of Conquest, each player selects one of their decks to use for the first game. Any deck that wins a game cannot be selected for the remainder of the round, meaning that the winning player must move on to a different deck. The losing player may switch decks, but is not required to. The winner of the entire round is the first player to win using each of their decks. So both players bring 4 decks, ban 1. In order to win the series tonight, you've got to win with all 3 decks. As I mentioned previously, there are special deck building restrictions each week. This week is no exception to that. So the theme for this week is the Old God. So it's called With a Whisper Comes Chaos. The deck idea came from Electric Sheep City. So here's the theme. Pick an Old God. It could be Mecha'thun, N'Zoth, Yogg-Saron, or Yogg-Saron. Build 4 decks featuring that Old God. You can use either version or both, or all 3 if you count Mecha'thun, in your deck to satisfy the requirement. It must be the same Old God featured in all 4 decks, meaning all 4 decks have to have Yogg or Mecha'thun or whatever. Now, in order to make this week not have a bunch of meta decks, we did initiate a bunch of banned cards. Now, there are a handful of meta decks that could be played, but we were trying to get around it. So the banned cards for tonight are Call to Arms, Celestial Alignment, Dark Bishop Benedictus, Dirty Rat, Expired Merchant, Ice Block, Ignite, Rigged Fair Game, Sage, Seer of Darkmoon, Ship's Cannon, all of the quest lines, all of the hero cards, and all weapons except Counterfeit Blade, Necrium Blade, and Sphere of Sapience. And then there's a season-wide ban of both Gen and Baku. So let's take a look at the decks that our players brought tonight. So first up is TheCyberon, who brought Mage, Druid, Priest, and Demon Hunter, and the Priest is getting banned. So particularly Mage, Druid, and Demon Hunter, and the Old God featured here is N'Zoth. Definitely some spiciness of... Any thoughts on these decks, gentlemen?
Yeah, I'm starting to see a pattern this week where anyone who goes with N'Zoth automatically turns to a Death Rattle Taunt Druid shell.
Yeah.
I feel like Born to be Wild listener series players love Hadronauts. It almost, correct me if I'm wrong, it shows up almost every week in a deck, right?
Depending, but it's interesting because, a lot of the decks that get played here in the listener series are decks that you just cannot play on ladder because they're not competitive enough. But with the restrictions, a lot of the more, janky stuff can be played. So, yes, with the N'Zoth builds, two of them are Highlander decks here. 2 of them are running both N'Zoths. And then we do have the Hadronox Druid. So Highlander Demon Hunter is not something I was expecting to see tonight, but it should be fun to watch for sure.
Yeah.
I also want to clarify. Go ahead, Fish.
No, you can go ahead.
Okay, well, I want to clarify. I don't really want to call these decks janky, because I think correct me if I'm wrong. You're gearing it for those like when you're not having these ruthlessly efficient combos, and you get these. You reward these grindier strategies and
Right.
plays. Correct.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
And
they're so off meta that there's not, any particular combo that really stands out or any particular OTK. And so it appears to me, at least, that they kind of turn into these long, grindy, control-ish type matches where value is kind of key here. And so even this mage, I've got an LPG mage with 2 Reno Jacksons in it and 2 N'Zoths and a bunch of yellow cards. So,
there's a lot of value bombs in all of these decks, especially with all the N'Zoths.
Right, definitely.
So,
for sure.
Well, switching over then to to quickly look over at GingerNinja's decks as well.
Sure.
Ginger brought Druid, Priest, Hunter, and Rogue, with the Rogue being banned, and he also brought N'Zoth, and so it's going to be Death Rattle night tonight.
Yeah. He brought 3 N'Zoth the Corruptor decks, one of them being banned, which was a Mill Rogue deck, which I found quite interesting. Looking at, I was like, oh, this is a neat little take on it. The Hunter deck, I think I'm gonna be most enjoy watching this deck do its thing, because I personally love Hunter. I know there's very few versions of Hunter that have been viable in lately until we got the quest line. Even Hunter seems to be fine as well, but I mean, I like these builds. And then the N'Zoth God of the Deep for a divine, looks to be a divine spirit inner fire mold of priest, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk about that deck the most.
Sure.
Because I think it's very interesting in its build. It's basically traditional wall priest. I don't know if you guys remember that from Rostacon's Rumble.
Yeah,
that's what we
got
have
flashbacks.
Yeah, we have Moshaw Enforcer, Master Oakheart, Rustied Raider. We have all these big, beefy taunts with massive butts at the end. And then we have a few Resurrects, but that's not even the main thing that really brings my attention towards this deck. It's Psychic Scream. So we were talking about how these are, really grindy Death Rattle matchups. These decks here kind of hedge for taking advantage of the grindy stuff and punishing it so that they can get a big burst of damage at some point in the game. And this deck does it most efficiently by just cleaning the board with Psychic Scream and stalling those N'Zoth finishers even more. So I'm really interested to see how that goes. This is the deck I'd be the most scared of besides the Mill Rogue.
Yeah.
If I were to face this lineup.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Hey, it'll be interesting. I guess we will find out shortly. I'm gonna let them know to get started whenever they're ready, and we'll see when they queue up. I know Ginger mentioned earlier that he had crafted Master Oakheart specifically for this matchup, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oakheart actually is in a deck.
Well, GingerNinja will be excited to know that Oakheart is meta. So that was not.
It's actually a good craft, yeah. Yeah, Mecha'thun Druid. All right, let's see how these players
All right, here we go. They're getting started.
Sure. All right, we've got the LPG Mage from TheCyberon, and we've got the Priest deck coming out from Ginger right away. All right. Got Mulligan's gonna opt to keep the Pocket Galaxy in the opener. Not bad at all, as well as a Luna. But and did find a couple of cards to keep going in the early game against this Priest.
Yeah, I like this Mulligan from TheCyberon. We know that the Priest is going to go long, so we can afford to keep Pocket Galaxy here.
Yeah,
and Stargazers or Luna really counteracts the Psychic Scream. Plus, with Barista Lynchon in the hand, you can always just play a bunch of minions, copy them back, and do it all over again.
Yeah.
Side effects? No. Trust
All right.
me.
Then on the side of GingerNinja, we do see a early Deathlord, as well as the Scream. If things get too far out of hand, but overall, and in the Witchwood Grizzly there too. But I'm not sure that specifically with his LPG deck that we're gonna see that Grizzly getting to do a whole lot. It's gonna not have a lot of health when it comes down.
Such generosity.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Missed hero power from the Cyberon. Yes, it's a misplay, but I doubt that's going to matter later on. This priest has all the healing in the world with its hero power. You're never going to even hit it in the face because of all the taunts. So
Yeah,
one ping is not going to make or break anything.
And it looks like we're almost to the point where we can crack through this Deathlord in one fell swoop, with the playing of the Bad Luck Albatross. I like the inclusion. Unfortunately, his opponent didn't bring any Reno decks to shut down.
This does matter, though.
Yeah.
The one thing that players might not realize is the Albatrosses are beasts. So Flying Tomato pretty much can't play those Albatrosses out from hand later on.
Yeah.
Because it's going to mess with the N'Zoth pool.
True. What beasts are they running? Let's check.
Tomato has Witchwood Grizzly.
Witchwood Grizzly, yeah. So even if the Grizzly dies, they'll come back a 3/12 later. So yeah, the Albatrosses are definitely something that you don't want to see get played and killed. All right, we're going for we're going greedy here. We're going for a 10 pot. All right.
I like this 10 pot.
Yeah.
Problem is
6
Cyberon
them in 3.
Yeah, this is not what Cyberon wanted, though.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to get sheep.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Mess with the death rattles.
You want to sheep everything. Yeah, I was considering I'm so used to going Kazakas for a 5 pot, but I think it was a fine pick to go for the 10 pot, but just didn't get what he wanted, like you said.
Guide my hand.
It's like pick up a Mass Hysteria. That generally wouldn't clear most of the board, although it would be fine if it would just 4/1 would just hit 3/3, clear the board out completely.
Guide my hand.
There's a few options here. We have Witchwood Grizzly in hand, we have Mass Hysteria, and we have Heal.
Looks like we're going to go Heal trade. Okay.
Yeah, it's a very safe play.
Yeah,
we can hold our cards for later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is interesting when Cyberon pops the 3-mana card. It pulls his own Deathlord. There was any number of really, really big statted minions that could have got pulled out of the deck here. We're pretty much a turn away from coining out Pockets Galaxy, so I assume we're gonna go for a ping in a pass. Especially don't want to.
A lot too.
Yeah. Especially don't want to book a Spectres with 8 cards in hand. You could very well just burn a card next turn. So I think just staying right where we are is fine.
We're also going to draw 1-mana minions with that book later. So
yes,
I like saving it.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, we drew a Light Shower Elemental, right?
Yes. So Light Shower Elemental, 6 mana, 6/6 Elemental. Taunt, and then Death Rattle. It gives 8 health back when it's removed from play.
Yeah, I like the curve play.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
Just put stats on the board. We don't worry about the healing.
Mm-hmm.
That's just for N'Zoth later. And as we expect, the Coin Pocket Galaxy.
Yeah, so there is potential for some bit of a pop off with Luna next turn, depending on draw. Zephyrus in hand is also nice as well. Can kind of have its own Scream-like effects eventually, where we'll be able to get stuff like Twisting Nether or Brawl or stuff like that from it. Skeletal Dragon, the on-curve Skeletal Dragon, down for GingerNinja, and puts a Dragon Ball Skystalker in hand, so another Death Rattle card. Although this is not Awaken the Maker's Priest, so that's not a big concern. Okay. We're going to open with Spectre.
Snows off.
That indeed is a... There's the old god. We have Alexstrasza Lifebinder, which was drawn. Could find some use in removing something like the Ford 9. Might just save it for later, though. Of course, Kartut Defender as well is a nice minion to get played. This deck, I believe, is running... Alright, this deck is running just the one N'Zoth. There's no Corruptor in this deck.
And the Mage, there's both.
Oh no, and the Mage does have both. You are correct. My apologies. I was looking at the Priest. Priestless doesn't have the other one. Yeah.
Hey, GingerNinja does have
I think there's no rush.
Apologies. Check this out. GingerNinja does have a Divine Spirit and Inner Fire here, which could make for a spicy, unexpected lethal, provided there's no taunts in the way.
Definitely.
Yeah, and he has Shadow Visions to discover more Divine Spirits, too. It's likely he wants the second one at some point.
Yeah.
Guide my hand.
But CybeRon does have an answer with Zephrys. Oh, going for the Divine Spirit here.
Going for the early Divine Spirit. Alright. Gonna go for Mass now to clear up the board. Okay. It does clear the board and it draws out the Hecklebot. So a 3/8 just has been pulled to the board. Oh, there's Loetheb. That's quite a good. It's quite a good pickup. Now we see Luna. We're gonna go in.
On Pilgrim turn. So this does overdraw.
Unfortunate, yeah.
And that was a pretty important card.
It was, yeah. Varden Dawn Grasp is pretty important here. With
CybeRon has the problem of too much value and not enough mana now.
Yes. So I think we're just gonna see, yeah, we're gonna see the broomstick clear this board up as much as possible, anyways. But it looks like that's gonna, all right. It won't require Luna to get traded in at least, which is nice. But leaves the 3/8. So if there was, so at least with Loetheb being played, it stopped any Divine Spirit Inner Fire stuff. Yeah. Even the one there was two played, so
Oakard here puts just a ton of stats.
Yeah.
I like this a lot from
I do as well.
GingerNinja. Just putting constant board pressure. We need to have a board in the box every single turn at this point. That's how we're going to grind out the Mage, because the Mage has a lot of ways to kill.
Yes. Drawing one mana big minions is really good. In general, and especially because Reno Jackson is in this deck, even if it gets pretty low, it has to be. They have to OTK. This priest deck has to OTK, or it's or they're just very likely not going to get there against LPG. LPG has so much value. So we're going to opt to leave the Luna up, and we're going to go with just clearing off everything else. That was definitely a decision. I'm sure that had to be made. I'm sure that was a decision that was thought about. But the rest of the board was removed over Stargazer Luna.
Both coming down here.
Yeah.
This is going to keep our hand size large, so I'm not too crazy about the play. The one thing that brings out my curiosity is CybeRon's choice to go for the Pilgrim play earlier, knowing that Potion of Illusion was still in deck. We have the opportunity to OTK with 1 mana Alexstrasza in our hand already. So it looks like we're just going for the grindy play, and CybeRon is banking on the deck having more value than the Priest.
Yeah.
And that might as well be the case right now,
Sure.
as long as GingerNinja can't get through and is forced to
Yeah.
scream. It does shut down Reno, but with
Mhm.
so many other cards in hand, we have another Stargazer Luna, we have Zola the
Mhm.
Gorgon in hand, Barista
Yeah.
Lynchen. We can get more Lunas and build more boards in a box.
Agreed. Yeah. We're gonna Shadow Visions here. Finds Inner Fire, Mass Hysteria, and the other one was Eternal Servitude.
Looks like
I'm
we're
wondering
set
if-
up for a clear here.
Yeah, it looks like we're setting up for a Hysteria, probably. The Mass, yeah, okay. Let's see how much stuff gets cleared.
So it looks like all but one minion on GingerNinja side was cleared here.
Yes, and it looks like all but the N'Zoth was cleared on Cyberon's turn. Yes, Hecklebot survived below the Moshog. And, yep.
That Albatross is going to be really annoying if it gets resurrected from the N'Zoth later.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see.
For sure. I think,
The future is ours.
I understand wanting to draw a lot because it's
Behold
nice.
the tools of
And that was a really good pull. I'm wondering if he is. I wonder if the Cyberon's holding Mutanus for any specific minion at this point. I guess with Katrina Muerte still in the deck, the second like N'Zoth's God of the Deep still in the deck, maybe he's gonna test his waters here and he's gonna pull the Grizzly. So now he's got a big Murloc, 716.
We use Barista here.
Sure.
So
Clear. It does give us only 2 minions in hand, which is nice.
yes.
So we don't no mill.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about this. No mill. This does put Luna at risk of getting cleared, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is a big threatening board. We're representing 20 attack on the board total. So so now we see Shadow Visions, and it looks like we're gonna see our first Scream here.
Yeah,
Especially
this is really
discovering
unfortunate.
one. It
It's really unfortunate. No Divine Spirit discovers.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like GingerNinja was banking on that so that they could eventually go for the OTK, but no
Yeah.
luck.
guide my hand.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate. Using the one Divine Spirit isn't too bad, but not being able to discover a couple other ones puts him in a really bad spot. Unfortunately, we are gonna Diamond Spellstone, and we don't get anything of great value. We get Deathlord and Oakheart and a Albatross, which is clearable with the hero power of the Mage. So let's see what Cyberon decides to do.
I was talking before about that Albatross being annoying with the N'Zoth,
Behold the tools of
but it feels like it
creation.
was even more annoying here off the spell step done. Because as we see, there is very little in terms of stats on the board now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and second Relicologist.
It all but full clears here.
Yeah, it would all but full clear.
What to do? What
It
to
would
do?
make it so that.
Such
Okay, we're gonna go for Barista. Okay. Gonna remove the
time runs out on me.
Luna from the field. There's no more Stargazer Lunas left in play. Or left in the deck to be played. So interesting.
Yep.
Playing the
From what it
Saber.
seems,
I think
from what it
could have
seems,
waited on the Saber.
yeah. But from what it seems, GingerNinja is going for the fatigue game plan at this point.
Probably, yeah.
They see Cyberon with 2 cards left in the deck, so they just want to hold off
there's a Mashog.
And there's another Albatross. You
Yeah,
just wanna
another
stave off
Albatross.
Cyberana until they run out of resources. And at this rate, that could happen very soon. We also know that because the Potion of Illusion is gone, Cyberon has no way of OTKing GingerNinja. So there is no real pressure beyond whatever board Cyberon can make.
Yeah. I mean, Want Thief could find something here, and doesn't really find much. You get an Ice Lance to freeze a minion. I think at this point, I really want to play Barista because we're sitting with the Solarian Prime in our hand, on the field, and you really want to have that value to play one. Even though it's most of your turn at that point, you have like 1 mana and it's off and all this other things, and it counts as a demon whenever it eventually gets removed. So
We won't get it with the size of our hand right now, though. We need to dump.
Yes, so he dumps.
Double pump Azarano, extra Star Whip, High Mountain Ice Storm for Mana Spice coming right up.
And needs to play out, I guess, Alex or Reno here. I wouldn't mind throwing Reno over Alex, but I guess we're gonna go with the Alex because there's really no Alex OTK at this point, so it makes sense.
Correct.
Yeah, and Reno's gonna have much more value later.
GingerNinja is in a weird spot that they don't want to Psychic Scream if they don't have to, because that'll just prolong the game. They need to get to through this board to win.
Yeah,
But there isn't really much to do here with this hand otherwise.
Yeah, there's no both mass resurrection used once, then a spellstone. All right, we did find a Mashog Enforcer to stall a little bit more. And Oakheart can remove the taunt minion that's on the board. All right, and yeah, gonna make the Mashog have 14 attack to make sure that things, when they trade into it, have a hard time.
Yeah, but this is lethal. Guaranteed.
Yes, you trade this and you Zeph.
All you have to do is kill the taunt and send the rest face. Let's see if Cyberon can find it.
Oh, we're gonna go for Brand Relicologist. Okay.
I see. The different yellow card.
The other yellow card. Yeah. I just listened to what the last THL Legacy Format champion said, and here's our thought. Zephyrus is definitely lethal for sure.
Well, there you have it.
There you go. First one goes to Cyberon.
All right, game 1 is in the book. Cyberon takes the win with the Mage. Like playing Spot the Lethal there at the end. That was pretty fun.
So,
yeah,
just
which one would you go with? Or which one do you want to see?
If I'm Cyberon, I probably go with the Druid. All right, he goes with the. I was gonna say if I'm winning this first one, I want to put my opponent in a spot where I have a good chance of winning with a Taunt Druid. But it looks like we're not gonna get the Taunt Druid mirror here or anything like that. Looks like we're gonna get Reno Demon Hunter.
Yeah, this is Reno Demon Hunter versus Taunt Druid.
Yeah.
And this Taunt Druid has a lot of boards to get through as well.
Yeah.
I see Double Witching Hour, Hadronauts, Ysera, and Azal.
Yeah, this is like the greediest. This is one of the greediest like Taunt Druid decks I've seen. I like
Greybow too.
Yeah, Greybow as well. Yeah. Wow.
Job's done.
Well, if Cyberon can get N'Zoth God of the Deep to the far left or far right, then he can get a second one, which is I the Incredible.
Yes. So if Zai is played from your left, it'll just copy the N'Zoth, correct? Because that would become the leftmost card.
Yes.
Yeah. And with this type of hand, I would imagine that the Chaos Nova and the Blackthorn will be put in play. You know, I'd say like you want to play Blackthorn on 7. So by 7, both of these could probably be removed. But both players have a lot of mana now.
Yeah. GingerNinja high rolling a
wow.
bit there by getting the second token.
Yeah.
But yeah, TheCyberon also having a high roll himself.
Yeah.
That brand is going to be extremely useful later.
Definitely.
We can play that with Zai the Incredible now and get 3 N'Zoth the Corruptors. Or 3 N'Zoth out of the Deeps. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's all good.
What is a big problem though?
Yeah, Arbor being played twice. This is just too much. There is not a whole lot
Well,
that Cyberon can.
he can clear all the tree ants with the Chaos Nova, but
That's true. You clear all of them with the Chaos Nova, so you do survive.
well, it leaves him at 1 health, right? So
Maybe.
or 2. Yeah, he's a little bit of
3
trouble.
health, 3 health with the other ones. Yeah.
Chaos Leech will help with
Chaos
that.
Leech will help with that. Yeah, Chaos Leech will remove. Can
if I
remove one of
were-
those minions. I
Consume
consume magic
magic.
pick. That
Oh,
works.
never punished.
Yeah.
Got the eye beam here too.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I'm a fan of leaving a 9/4 up when we've already silenced the Vargoth there. I would have maybe wanted to put damage, but I guess we're trying to just keep as much damage off the board as possible. Yeah, we even have like Brand Mutanus, but there's a chance that this deck, like, we see the hand does have like 2 minions in it, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna see one. We're gonna see Talon Fordring likely played here. But hovering the Ferocious Howl, which would mean that we'd have to coin out the Talon now. There is the option to go for a branching path as well. There's so much armor, so you might just want to fill your hand up with some branching paths. Draw. What do you think? Oh, okay. NHL is currently muted. So Nate, what do you think?
know,
what
I
do
mean,
you
it's
think
interesting
about
with
that?
the 9 attack minion, and Cyberon's only got 12 health. I mean, if Cyberon's not able to clear the 9/4, Ginger can branching paths for attack and just win. So,
Yeah.
But we'll see. I imagine. I'm just curious how greedy we get here. Like, do we see Bran into like Blackthorn or something? Like, you could make a really big board if you wanted to. I just
Yeah.
I'm taking kind of the slow route here. So
I
Hi,
like
guys.
this. Hello, welcome back.
Yes. So I wanted to mention before, likely the reason why we didn't see Blackthorn dropped is because there aren't really many good taunt death rattles left in deck. Okay, there's Deathlord. Did we play Death's Head Cultist already?
No, so it'd be Cultist, Deathlord, and like Talon.
And yes, Talon. So there's no point in playing Bran alongside that.
Yeah, I was thinking Brand Mutanus to like try and fish out any minions in the deck from at least from the cyber play. Obviously, he has to protect himself and make sure that he's going to survive first. And if he does manage to stabilize this turn, he could actually get a pretty big Mutanus if he'd like to go for that.
It would be a risky play though.
It would be, yeah. Yeah, and we see Cyberon kind of hovering those two, so he might have that in mind. Does opt to actually remove the 9/4 with the trade. There was a chance he could have just traded into the 3/5 instead. Alright. Struggling against the inevitable, pulls the 2 minions only with Death's Head Cultist pulled in the draw, I should say. Now we're gonna start chunking damage out on this Druid's health.
Yeah, so keep in mind from the Zoth right now, the only things we can summon are a Quillbore, a Beast, and not much else.
Yeah.
We have Mecha'thun out in hand, but we haven't played the Murloc yet, and it hasn't died. So Zoth, God of the Deep, is still kind of a weak play if we choose to go that route.
Yeah. Alright, Oaken summons is played. Let's see if it gets anything. It gets an Albatross. Okay. And Graybow.
Greybow can be very annoying if we don't take care of it.
Yeah.
The last thing we want is a board full of Greybows from N'Zoth. This is very tempting to copy, by the way. If Kazaka's Golem Shaper on the right.
Yeah, Kazaka's... I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Zai played here. We're gonna... Looks like we're gonna go first and foremost for a removal of... The first removal of Graybow. We do find a Ziliax here.
So there's a huge value play in hand. We can go Brand Kazakis, double 10 if we wanted to, and then play Zai the Incredible to get 2 N'Zoths and 2 10-cost Kazakuses. Or 2 10-cost Looks like we're not going to do it.
Yeah, looks like we're going to go for probably a 10-drop Kazaka's Golem here. Okay. Yeah, it was...
We went with a 5.
Is that a 5? That's a 5 Golem, right?
Yes,
yeah.
This is a 5.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, we're going to play out the Deathside Cultist. But we did take to give... It's poisonous and give your other minions +2/+2. Just have to kind of see that there's not really a way to remove all the minions. We'll see. We'll get to see these minions get buffed here. Probably could just remove the Talon. Actually, could remove like a few things, but a good chunk of the board's gonna be kept safe here. See what we go for the branching paths. Looks like we're gonna probably go for double draw here. Seems like a good thing to do. Thin out the deck, get towards Hadronox, and N'Zoth the Corruptor.
Yeah, these Albatrosses are probably very frustrating for GingerNinja at this point.
Yeah.
Second game where they've gotten multiple Albatrosses in deck and they've drawn them.
Yeah. Right.
Now it's a matter of whether they hero power versus play the Albatross. Electing to hero power and clear a bit more here.
So this is gonna draw N'Zoth the Corruptor. So now we know that 10 mana N'Zoth is in hand. You could honestly go for a big board buff with Bran here. But Bran's gonna be saved. Completely. So not bad at all. Nice board.
This is a good chance to get rid of Greybow.
Yeah, there is. But I think
we're
not even... I think we're just gonna ignore the minion. Yeah. There's no way for GingerNinja to remove... to kill off his own... Ysera and reactivate... Graybow. So next turn we could see this poison is coming. It would come in pretty big if there wasn't a board of dragons that was just made.
Yeah, this is what I was concerned with. Now there's a board, and that Greybow is not going away.
No, Graybow won't go away. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, now with Hadronox as well.
Mm-hmm.
TheCyberon is in a load of trouble.
Yeah, Hadronox. I think Hadronox should just get... Hadronox should probably just get dropped here. Especially because Mecha'thun is in deck. And there's no real other great play that GingerNinja could make here. We're gonna look...
So they can... They can try to greed it out because they have 3 minions in hand.
Gotcha.
They don't know that Bran was pulled. Okay, we're talking about 1-ups here.
Yeah, this is all one of. So like a lot of times we're looking at things, and we with caster vision, it's a lot easier to. It's a lot easier to talk about
Miss
plays
this
because we
stuff.
have the whole story.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also a good card to Zai, even if you don't Bran it.
I know
We are getting closer and closer. Bottom 10 already. Bottom 10
Yeah.
on Cyberon's side. Looks like we're hovering over N'Zoth, caught in the deep, wondering if there's enough in the pool right now. We don't have a ton.
No, yeah,
Still
we
only 2 minions.
really isn't a lot. The lack of Blackthorn dying, not being a Quillbore in the pool, means that it will pull still Death's Head Cultist. But we're like looking at Cultist, Albatross, and really not a whole lot else.
Yeah, those are the only 2.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna start clearing up the board. And then going face, okay. Now this Greybow can come back though, with this with Yogg-Saron being able to trade into the 3/4.
Yeah, and now it's going to be very annoying.
Mm-hmm. And with Hadronox, Hadronox naturalized, it's gonna be a matter of time before that comes down. It creates another Greybow, yeah. Here we go.
Oh, there's that.
Hadronox naturalize. Summons another Greybow and 5 10s, and this is...
That's a board.
That's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. There's this the Zeph off the top that can remove the whole board and get rid of the Greybows with Twisting Nether.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered.
Indeed.
I'm curious to see how greedy Cyberon is. They could take a chance here, slightly under 50% with a Brawl, and Zola the Zephyrus for on the board later.
Yeah.
Or they can go for the guarantee here. And also Bran.
Mm-hmm. Alright, looks like we're gonna get this. Looks like he's gonna go for the guarantee here.
There it is. Gotta rip it.
Rips it. Very nice. No. Just. There's still the Talon, and I would like to. And even though there has been no Mutanus, now I think Talon's great because now you can Talon, and once Talon gets away, you have a guaranteed N'Zoth the Corruptor to your hand. And it's a top minion, so this deck that needs to go face will end up removing it.
And Mutanus would be very risky beyond that as well, because there'll be a Hadronox on the board that GingerNinja can just trade into.
Yeah. Oh, Witching Hour, the Albatross strikes! The Albatross strikes twice! Oh no! And... Alright, he's gonna Bioproject, and he's gonna play the Talon out. Okay. Bioproject really has something. That was brutal.
Here.
Oh,
Cyberon's best card. Cyberon's best card this week has been
Bad Luck
Albatross.
Yeah, for sure. And Cycle of Hatred coming into hand. I wouldn't have hated going for that. We go for N'Zoth, so we get Zephyrus back. So I guess it does present a threat that I would guess that I would see as needing to be removed just because of the threat of Zola. It's a bit of a... I would say it might even be a bit early to have done that, but there's not a whole
Big thing
lot
here.
really there.
Big thing here is TheCyberon is recognizing what his power cards are.
Yes,
And
I like
right
that.
now, that's Albatross. And we're getting Albatross back with N'Zoth, so we're playing N'Zoth.
Yeah. And the dragons are being drawn. There's not that many more portals left, but we're gonna look at a pretty sizable board here. Very likely, as I would guess all the portals are gonna be drawn. I'm not sure though. Nope, they're not. With a 9-card hand, so it doesn't have to play anything else. More Albatrosses in the deck. Like,
I imagine this is when we see Mutanus, correct?
I think we brand Mutanus here. Yes, and I would even be so greedy as I would be greedy and Zola it. It eats. It ate an 8/8, and it didn't eat N'Zoth.
It ate the Moarg Forge
Moarg?
Fiend and the Kartut Defender.
Thank you.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Because Zola, you get
So
2 more
that's
Mutanus.
You gotta think he's considering it, but the thing is, even if we do that, we don't have any way to deal with the board, so we may want to
That's
save
true.
Zola for later.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Big 15-16 minion, like there's still not enough attack, and there's still not enough attack to actually push through the board, and Zai will now make 2 corruptors at this point. DQA being there now won't be on the right after the next draw. We have 5 cards left in deck, and one of them is Reno Jackson. We're looking at expendable performers, Reno Jackson. Looks like a Spectral Sight,
And
Fellscreen Blast, and I believe a Consume Magic from deck.
Game comes down.
Yeah, down comes
I
the
like
Lich
this as
King.
gameplay.
Yeah. A lot of the board removed here. It's really good for a GingerNinja, and
If
he's gonna be able to full clear this just with expendables here. Actually,
yeah, there's a couple of ways for sure.
there was, yeah.
I like this choice to use expendable performers. Clears the board right now. It's gonna be weak later on, since you can only deal a max of 14 damage to the entire board. But getting rid of the 2 large threats, one of them being the Lich King, of course, is solid.
Out of cards.
Yeah. Both players are coming to the end of their deck. Yeah, no, both players are now going into fatigue soon, with GingerNinja going to be fatiguing next turn. We got Death's Grip. Wow, he stole Reno and it's active. Oh my goodness, that's insane. That was the only minion left in deck, I'm pretty sure. So, it's kind of guaranteed. That's crazy. Okay.
I'm not sure it's gonna matter too much here, though.
Yeah. There's so much value out of this Demon Hunter left within the Zoths, and I mean, Zai creating 2 of them is just going to be crazy. Consume Magic, could even opt to have used it there. At this point, you can actually guarantee that you get double DQA if you want to be greedy about it, but I think you can just go for it here.
Life and hope of Wolfe fighting.
Yeah, we're gonna need something good from this, Alex.
Emerald Explorer and Anixia the Broodmother.
Seems you need another
I'd say that's pretty good.
That is good value. Ooh, okay, yeah, Brightwing, definitely. Extra value, you get a random legendary.
Right wing is the most value of those three, so it makes sense here.
Agreed. Chromagus would do nothing, so you don't want that. It's just a big minion. And I don't even remember the other pick.
Looks like Zoth may come down very soon. Yeah, here it
Okay.
comes.
Yeah, there you go.
Zoth.
Golden
Golden
Nazoth,
minions
golden.
now.
Yeah, and look who's back. Greybow's back.
Double Greybow. And
Yeah.
Hadronox as well.
So the one thing that is going to be difficult for this Demon Hunter is the fact that there is essentially 2 dead cards in their deck in Double Jump and in their hand in Double Jump and Spectral Sight. Cards that he wanted to have earlier to draw various outcast cards. Looks like he hovered Zai. Might want to make a double. Want to make 2 Bright Wings. There really isn't much else that you'd want to double up. Besides the fact that you're definitely going to be able to double up your Nazoths here.
Moarg with Cycle of
maybe.
Hatred and Fellscreen Blast is not too bad.
Definitely.
But that does mean Greybow is going to stick due to minion positioning here.
Yeah.
Enough time.
And both minions get a Greybow, and this Hadronox isn't really dealt with. So yeah, we're gonna see a lot of Greybows come out. Really, the game plan here is to just chunk down and make it so your opponent takes too much fatigue damage. Has to be the play here. There's going to be another massive taunt wall and no way to really get through it at this point, though.
Yeah, I don't really see how Silent gets through all this.
Yeah, his own Nazoth will be nice, but there's only one Greybow now. The Hadronox did not spawn any of the other Greybows that have gone away this game, but there's just so much on the board. This is a lot. Probably have to remove all of your 3/3s and play your own Nazoth or get the Zai, and there's not really enough time to play Zai here. To really make.
Yeah, we're pretty much forced to Zoth. And
Yeah,
even then, Zoth can be.
Yeah. Because of if Reno was not stolen, this would be a lot different. But without the Reno Jackson, this becomes a lot more difficult for the Demon Hunter.
Yeah, and GingerNinja getting the Death and Decay, deal 3
Yes.
damage to all enemies from the Lich King is huge.
That's so big, yeah.
That'll
That
help
just
a lot.
Getting 2 Albatrosses back in his deck is going to save a little bit of that fatigue damage. It's kind of funny.
yes,
Correct. Yeah, it
yeah.
helps them there, and the Reno puts them over the top. I don't see how someone comes back from this.
Yeah, I also don't as well. I wouldn't mind just removing out these 3/4s just to have the other halves of them. Yeah, your opponent goes back to full health, but that doesn't matter at all. You have so much power on your board, and you get to push 8, and you'll get to push 8 damage with, you'll be able to push some damage, potentially. Nah, because he's gonna remove the... I would actually ignore the Nazoth. I guess you can't ignore the Nazoth because of Zola. But... Oh, I actually pulled out one of the Albatrosses. Round out
Yes,
the bomb.
that was because
Deathlord
it was summoned after the Albatross.
Yeah,
Because
so he
Zoth
has...
wasn't left
So that's not so good of a play from there. But we'll see what... It's drawn Arfist. That is not a good card. And CybeRon concedes. So we are 1-1. So both players have... So let's see, with the GingerNinja still having his Wall Priest and his Hunter, I'm wondering if CybeRon will stick to this Demon Hunter or if he'll opt to go over to his Druid now at this point.
It's really interesting to see these long, kind of grindy, control-heavy matches, and the decision making is so important here, where choosing what you're going to use that Zola on, or that Mutan, when you're going to use Brand, when you can use Mutanus, really has a game-changing impact here. All right, they're queuing up for game 3.
All right. The Hunter versus the Demon Hunter.
I am determined to win this.
Full toss from the TheCyberon. Let's see what GingerNinja opts to do.
GingerNinja's hand is a bit easier to play, so I wouldn't be surprised if this was close to a full keep.
Yeah, I could see it.
I wouldn't hate tossing the tracking though.
Yeah, I agree. So he does exactly that. He plays he keeps the Carrion Studies in Ursatron, and he does get a play dead. So has a decent curve here to start. So the one thing I'm going to be interested in this game is actually seeing how Demon Hunter navigates this early game. Because last game, there was so much ramp coming from the Druid that helped both sides, that and it pretty much allowed them to skip the entire early game. Right. We do see Dragonbane in the hand of GingerNinja. That card might have a pretty big impact. We do see the Albatross.
The MVP.
See if it can. The MVP. The MVP of game 1, and it tried in game 2, but unfortunately, that the Taunt Druid just had too much gas. See, a couple of secrets in the hand. That's a little... It probably feels a little clunky from GingerNinja's side. Having the ability to remove this, and since that draws a mech, there's no way you could get an Albatross at least.
There's a few options here, right? We could play two secrets and go face. We can play Dragonbane and trade, or we can trade and see what Death Rattle minion we get. Correct?
Yeah.
We can also play Carrion Studies and see what we get from there. There's a lot of decisions to be made here.
Yeah.
So we're going with the Dragonbane play, and usually this doesn't get punished.
If there's not many punishes for it, and
there's
that's one of them. Moarg Eye Beam does clear it up.
Pretty unfortunate there for GingerNinja.
It is, yeah. Yeah, Dragonbane's one of those cards that could have created a blowout scenario in this matchup potentially, and it being removed, it only helps this Demon Hunter.
Bad Luck Albatross is definitely the best choice. Playing against Reno deck, Bad Luck Albatross turns off fatal effects,
and he can play dead it. Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna see that.
I would rather see that in either a hero power or like a Wandering Monster or Bear Trap, one of the two secrets.
I think we'll see a secret more likely. Reason why is because we can play Devouring Swarm later.
Oh, true, yeah.
With Bad Luck Albatross. Use it as removal, and then play it again to put even more Albatrosses in the deck. Agreed.
I like that line to save it. So it's Bear Trap. Now we see a 3/3 come on the board. Unfortunately, the skull it has the Mutanus blocking it. It's a bit of a bummer, but
yeah, this is super awkward for Cyberon passing on 5 and doing nothing.
Yeah,
you really don't want to be doing that.
Even if you make sure that you're, even if he hero powers into his face, he still summons the 3/3. Then at that point, it does create an awkward situation. So we have a couple. There are definitely options here with like Oblivitron Play Dead or Black Bad Luck Albatross and other cards. Right, we're gonna see Albatross Play Dead and Feign Death. So we're gonna have 4 Albatrosses in the deck of Cyberon now. All Highlander effects are now offline for the foreseeable future. Oh, this is
Gonna be good new turns.
good read, yeah. Or a good slam. Eats them, the Zoth, the Corruptor.
Alright, cancel challenge. Game's over.
Devastating.
What's crazy is I don't think that's the end of... That's definitely not the end of the game. This... I don't know, this feels like a Tonk Hunter deck that just threw N'Zoth in it, right? So... I know N'Zoth's a big part of it, but... This deck can get there without it.
N'Zoth is why we're playing this week. And without N'Zoth, can't play. So...
True.
This is a dirty play from GingerNinja, not conceding respectfully to the Thames Devourer.
I love it. Alright, so Oblivitron, we're gonna Devouring Swarm this.
Yeah, Devouring Swarm is so clean here.
All the cards, and all those go back to hand because it's Devouring Swarm. Darkmoon Tonk gets pulled and triggered.
Wow.
Yeah, Swarm, that's a very, very smart play. And it's 6, so we're going to see Skull.
Swing.
Yes.
Oh, the Albatross.
Albatross, Zephyrus, and Deathhead Cultist.
Yeah.
2 of those 3 are vanilla cards.
Essentially, yeah. The Cultist at least provides some healing when it gets removed off the board. Yeah, there was a chance with this without the minion being played that this with another play dead being found would have actually ended the game with attack face and triggering the death rattle. But as it stands, there will be some healing this turn.
I do like the Necro mechanic here. You want to set up for lethal very soon. And the easiest way to do that is by having 16 shots being fired. Or 16 damage being fired, I should say. That's 8 shots. 4 shots of 2 damage in each set.
Yes. Especially setting the Tonk to 3 will allow that to happen. I'd like to see maybe just like even Oblivitron. We're gonna hide the Necro mechanic behind the taunt. Right. Taunt minions activate.
This can't feel good for the Demon Hunter.
No. At least it'll soak up. There's a lot of minions that can soak up damage here, but this is not an ideal position. Face Stalker found, Oblivitron also still in the hand, Albatross as well. I think we might even just see like Face Stalker, Hero Power, maybe other Secret or something. There's a lot of options, and I think it could just begin with the Tonk removing something. It's not gonna die though. Okay. Gonna opt to it gets an Albatross.
We're seeing a lot of Albatrosses these games.
Yeah, this is more Albatrosses than I like to see. But I'm not playing the game.
This is old gods worship, not bad luck worship.
Yeah, we wanted I guess this is what happens when we play N'Zoth decks. You get some Albatrosses thrown in because they're death rattles.
Secret pulled his pack tactics.
And then... Okay, pulled pack tactics. Cool. So that's going to be interesting. If the Tonk gets attacked, it's another Tonk. But I think at this point they'll just remove the Necro mechanic first, but that'll create another one. That's interesting. Okay, we're going to go for the pack tactics. Albatross for that, yeah. Okay.
I like this because now we can hit face and play Cycle of Fate Trip.
Yeah, that's actually, it's a really clean cycle of
I
hatred
really like
there.
that. That's clean. I would have even liked it where my Death's Head, where my Blackthorn wasn't gonna die, but this is fine.
Yeah. I believe because the Necromechanic dies in the same turn, Death Vials only go off once.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think you're right. Yeah, no, it
Yeah,
only went
almost
off once.
awesome.
Yeah, but they all went off. They all went off in one burst, which is very interesting to see. It wasn't like 4 individual hits. There was all like kind of. At least on my screen, it looked weird.
Game has been turned around now.
Yeah, if Zephyrus was active, this would be a lethal potential. That's Wandering Monster that was played.
Yeah, so
There's 7 albatrosses
Hunter-
in deck.
with no N'Zoth, it doesn't really have any way of coming
I
back
have no
now.
time for games.
Yeah, this is where
So it's gonna be
this
a
is where
struggle.
N'Zoth hurts. Yeah, this is where N'Zoth hurts a lot. Yep,
Because Zach can find lethal.
Oh no, you need to remove. They need to. Oh, it's gonna remove the minion. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think Cyberon was looking for board
we're-
space.
Definitely. Anything as long as he gets +2/+2. He does not. So maybe he just takes the draw to deal 2 to
Goes for
deal
deal
3 to 2 random enemies. Okay. I might have liked to have kept that Sylvanas a bit above the ability to get removed, but this looks like the Demon Hunter won't be able to close it out next turn.
I do like this because now there's no weird outs
Okay.
because they heal up a bit.
Mhm.
So,
Makes sense. Yeah.
as we see, the Hunter gives up. There's nothing to do there. He can't deal 11 damage.
Mhm.
This won the game. So,
Yeah. So
2-1
now
Cyberon.
2-1 for
All right.
Cyberon, only with his Taunt Druid left. His list is definitely a bit interesting. He's running Floop, he's running Flabidinous Floop, the 4-mana legendary. He's running Carnivorous Cube. He's got like Dreaming Drake as a bit of a early game, and if he can corrupt it, it'll be pretty nice off the N'Zoth God of the Deep potentially, as like a 5/6, 5/6
Class is in
dragon.
session.
Yeah, Mutinous eating that N'Zoth was a huge blow.
That was the end. That was game ending essentially by the end of it. Unfortunately, the draws just stopped being there, and the Hunter quickly ran out of gas.
Looks like we're going to see the Hunter again now against the Druid. We have double N'Zoth and Cyberons end already.
Yeah. And I don't mind playing the Hunter here again. Oh, actually found
See
some
if
Carnivorous
you-
Cube. That's very interesting. Because of this format, how many games you actually win, if it's not 3, doesn't necessarily matter. And this Hunter deck might be able to cheese out something against his Druid potentially.
It's just on 2. Just curving out here. We have Death's Head Cultist coming up next turn for Cyberon. Flying Tomato, GingerNinja in the meantime, just also going for the curve play, gaining value with Stitch Tracker here. The Sylvanas play I like a lot because we can steal stuff from Cyberon, weaken their N'Zoth pool, and just swing the board in general, which is probably going to be very important given how we lost board last game.
Yeah, I already like this hand better for the Hunter. There's more minions, there's more proactivity out of this deck, or out of this hand than there was last game.
beast will not be tamed.
All right. Could offer are you gonna get a copy of N'Zoth? So the good thing is that there is still a N'Zothan deck as well. So if it does get eaten by Mutanus, Cyberon might think, oh, I've definitely been able to do the same thing where I've removed the win con, but sorry, no, you haven't. Alright, so Jiran is
the double N'Zoth here should fix a lot of the problems that the Hunter had last game.
yeah.
Carnivorous Cube is also a big pickup. Most likely why they took Sylvanas earlier.
Yeah,
They can play Sylvanas and they can cube it.
Yeah.
there's potential.
Cube
There's
it.
potential for a greed play with the Sylvanas and the cube and play dead or feign death. There's a tracking in hand, and so it just depends how greedy GingerNinja wants to be.
Yeah, we can go Necromechanic and just put a ton of Sylvanas on board and steal Cyberons as we get our minions killed.
Mm-hmm.
Time moves quickly.
All right. Tracking for the play dead snap pick. So it looks like that's kind of the game plan, and then Phase Stalker hero power. Pulling pack tactics. So Bio Project drawn. Pack Tactics creating the 3/3 copy of the Phase Stalker, and looks like Cyberon playing Living Seeds. The reduced Hadronox, alright. And this 9 lives with Sylvanas and the Necro mechanic can make things real messy too.
I have no time for games.
And there's a Sylvanas now on board.
Interesting.
Going to be a very big problem soon. Cyberon has no idea. Still playing passively. Little does he know, going to get punished for it.
Yeah, absolutely. That hand is just so nasty with between the Necromechanic and the Carnivorous Cube, the Play Dead, and then 9 lives can bring back the Sylvanas. And trigger the Sylvanas ability. So.
Yeah, it's just super awkward.
Oh, and a feign death off
I
the
wonder-
top too. Wow.
I wonder with double naturalizing the deck. I guess it's not very threatening right now because there's no minions out, and we're not too far. And I guess next year would be what Bio Project Hadronox naturalized, but I'm not even sure how many taunt minions there have been.
There's the cube.
Mm-hmm.
And now we are very sad. Play dead too. I wouldn't be surprised if we just saw a concede from Cyberon here.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter what Cyberon plays. His board's going to get nuked.
Yeah,
Well,
very
stolen,
rough
I should say.
at this point, honestly. Yeah, I mean, Mutanus doesn't do anything here. Mutanus just gets stolen. You could Hadronox naturalize, but again, I haven't really been paying attention to see what's been played.
Not enough mana. Not
yeah.
enough mana anyways.
Like Kartut Defender would just get stolen. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we just play 9
This-
lives on GingerNinja side, and then it all just gets stolen, and another Sylvanas is left in hand.
Well,
yeah, it's
this was the
crazy.
game plan from the Hunter that we did not get to see last round. So,
Yeah,
yeah, no, this makes Cyberon's turn very, very awkward. I mean, essentially, there's no good play here.
Sands of time run low.
yeah. There's no good play here. It's brutal. mean, I guess you just go, yeah, Bio, Hadronox, Naturalize, and see what happens, because this is about to go down. The Sylvanas train's about to happen. And this makes me happy, because Sylvanas Windrunner is such a cool card.
That was not a good hazard.
No, that's not a good Hadronox
And
at
here
all.
comes the
Feign
Feign
Death.
Death.
Feign Death makes more Sylvanas
And steals the 2.
and takes and steals the board completely. 9 lives. Puts a Sylvanas. Can put one in the hand, yeah.
I don't think I want to play the Feign Death here. I just want a Necromechanic and play dead. Or 9 lives even.
Yeah, something like that for sure. So there's 2 Sylvanases. Board is stolen and face. Now it's going face.
And I believe the game is over.
Yeah. It's so difficult to say that a game is over, but this is actually like it's a bit easier here to just look at and say there's no real comeback mechanic from this Druid, especially with Hadronox already being removed from the board. Yeah, N'Zoth could bring it back, but everything just gets stolen.
Victory is here.
Yeah.
And there we have it.
Yeah, we have a concede. So we're going to a game 5.
All right.
It's not a taunt. It's not a taunt Druid mirror. At least it is. It is the Divine Spirit Inner Fire Priest.
We will get
the
to
Wall
see
Priest.
that priest come back. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be Priest versus Druid for our final game of the night.
Always exciting when it goes to 5 games, regardless of who wins. It's 2 very good players making difficult decisions with suboptimal decks, and
my favorite kinds of decisions, questionable decisions with questionable decks.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, here we have it, game 5, our final match here of the GingerNinja with the priest versus Cyberon's Druid.
For the light.
Yeah, winner goes to the finals to face JordanMG. So we'll see how it goes, how it plays out.
We go. Just realized that Libidinous Floop in here for extra boards in a box later on with
Yeah.
Hadronox and N'Zoth, the corrupted.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely.
Repent.
The classic. He'll face and threaten. Doesn't have as good of a ring as the Light Shall Burn You, though. Alright. Curve, play needed, and Deathlord appears in hand. Would not
Yeah,
be
that's
surprised.
as good as it gets for the priest.
Yeah.
There's always the potential to pull a N'Zoth or a Hadronox or something like that, so...
Mm-hmm. And Ferocious Howl ripped off the top by the Cyberon. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw like if we saw something like Shadow Visions here. We're pretty close to potentially get pretty close with Divine Spirit
I don't
Inner Fire
hate-
potential.
I don't
But
hate
Hecklebot
either.
is Hecklebot could be okay, I guess.
Yeah, it's just a taunt on the board. You have a chance of hitting a key minion.
Yeah.
Yes. But
Just a matter of whether we want to do it. There aren't really big minions in this Druid deck, so I don't hate it.
Yeah,
We
they're
also have
mostly just
removal
healthy.
in Mass Hysteria. Yeah.
Yeah.
no time.
Alright, we found looked for it, and we're gonna Shadow Visions and take Shadow Visions.
Yeah, we're looking for Divine Spirit.
Right.
Yeah.
Can't find it. So we'll try later. No chance at Shadow Visions. Could go for it. Looks like we're just gonna do exactly that and heal up.
Does not find it. He finds Eternal Servitude. He does not find the second Divine. He does not find a copy of Divine Spirit. Very unfortunate with his Shadow Visions this game. Although that one was a copy of Shadow Vision, so he does have another one in deck.
It'll be a very early naturalized if Cyberon decides to play it.
Yeah, I like this play a little bit more. It corrupts the Dreaming Drake. I might have even liked to take just some chunk out of this minion. But I guess it would have to trade into something anyways. With 6 mana, we could... There is potential even just to drop potential Hecklebot, but I don't know. Hecklebot doesn't really have maybe a whole lot to do. I mean, other than it can just pull a really good minion, essentially.
Oof.
Pulls Death Lord. Okay. I don't hate attacking and healing up the minion here, just to remove the 2/2. He's really giving consideration to this Divine Spirit, and he's gonna opt to go for it.
But not a very early Divine Spirit. Looks like we're not going for the OTK here. Just trying to stall out the Druid. I'm not sure how that's gonna work this time though.
And now the naturalized being that naturalized being played is very crucial. Just draw the second Divine Spirit. And it pulls N'Zoth the Corruptor. Yeah. I'd say it's a bit fortunate for this Druid that it still has that Hadronox, although you really want that to be in conjunction with N'Zoth, and obviously the whole point of this week was to have the Old Gods to play. I do think this is a pretty big pull by the Death Lord.
Yeah, Cyberon has to concede out of respect now because N'Zoth is pulled and it's gonna die. Can't play the deck. What's the point of playing the match?
True. Alright, we're gonna see Mass Hysteria gonna make their minion a bit more healthy. N'Zoth survives. And Rusty Raider gets pulled out of deck.
Does Cyberon have anything at all to get that N'Zoth back into the deck somehow? Or make copies or anything like that?
Carnivorous Cube could do it, but it won't send it back to hand.
Yeah.
So you're looking at pretty much nothing. I don't think anything can pull it back to hand at this point. It's a bit unfortunate. There's still N'Zoth, God of the Deep, as another N'Zoth. But other than that, no. There's no way to pull this back. That's gone. It's gonna be sticking in play for a little bit, though, at least. I mean, I guess if it gets if a big enough board goes in and it's still on board, it could get Psychic Scream back into the deck. That would be how it would get back in deck.
Yes, but how?
That's why we're not conceding. We still have the other N'Zoth. I guess we don't have to concede technically.
Ooh, biggin. But we're not gonna take it. We want the Survival of the Fittest is a really nice card.
He could coin it out if you wanted to.
No, nature stuff. You can coin it out next turn.
There's no need to coin it on next turn. It's 9 mana. The reason why we don't coin it out is because then it goes back to mana.
Oh, it's next
Yeah,
spell.
I mean, it would
it's
just
next
be-
spell. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It would just be a It would just be a waste of coin. Yeah. Both players with sizable hands.
Guide my hand.
No,
Yeah,
no
these are
inner.
very Go ahead.
Now go ahead.
I was going to say these are very expensive decks in terms of mana costs.
Yeah.
So it's no surprise that these just fill up. As we saw before, they just kind of get to their turn,
Yes, but
hero
how?
power pass half the time. There's not much really going on here. This is when the game
Yeah.
really starts.
For sure. This is when being able to think through your plays and not rush yourself is very important. What a lovely day. Of course, we can't hear that voice line because unless we're expecting GingerNinja. Oh, gets a Hadronox to hand, but does mill branching, one of the branching paths. I believe that's the second one. So, yeah. Bring on Kartut the Defender. I'm curious to see what we do with this. We're gonna draw one card, but we can't draw another unless we're burning coin. So probably have to take the armor here. Okay. One thing is that this Netherwing's now active. This crazed Netherwing, and it will do 3 damage to their own minions, but it'll also be able to remove the N'Zoth from the board. So yeah, it would just remove it from the board, and it will keep their minions all alive.
Yeah, so now I think this is when we're going to see the survival of the fittest come down. If we're ever going to play it, this is the turn to do it.
Hadronox.
Hadronox instead.
Okay.
Totally fine.
Yeah,
I see the line here. We want to get a big board and then survival to potentially force a psychic scream to get back into card advantage or just threaten lethal, really.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, but how? Man, that's a big Nozdormu, and it's 4 mana, and it has no effect. We're gonna go with Mashog though. Maybe hoping to pull the Inner Fire here to set up an OTK. Especially because this Hadronox can't be removed without playing a Naturalize, because there's no minion that you can remove it with. You can actually Carnivorous Cube. My apologies. I see that right now. So Cube would remove the Hadronox.
Yeah, Cube takes care of it.
Yep. So we'll see what top minions we get. We get pretty much a full board. Removes the 4/1 that's been generating so much value that the TheCyberon will get to see eventually in the game, potentially.
Oh, and if this board
Which
sticks,
includes-
that survival of the fittest was
hand is
pretty
full.
juicy.
Yes. Oh, and it burns the first Inner Fire. So that's pretty big.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna make too much of a difference in the long run, though.
Yeah.
Really, Flying Tomato just needs a way to deal with this board, and there isn't really
Yes,
one right now.
But how?
The only answer is Psychic Scream, and we don't want a Psychic Scream because then we're behind in fatigue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Also
right now,
worried of Witching
right now,
Hour.
5 cards ahead. Yeah, right now, 5 cards ahead. Witching Hour will still summon Hadronaut. Yeah. And there's also N'Zoth, God of the Deep, which will summon Hadronauts. Alright.
No time.
Manifest Area really doesn't do all that much here, though.
Yeah, it doesn't. It does draw them a card based off of something. Oh,
I cannot hold
let's see,
any
it was removed.
It's not looking good, though.
Oh, Talon drew the biggest minion, so that would be why we got Blackthorn, or whatever the biggest minion left in deck is.
How curious.
Yeah, this isn't looking good, though, for GingerNinja.
No, it's
Because we
not.
still have N'Zoth, God of the Deep, front of the board. We have 2 more Hadronoxes in Fume.
Yes.
Let's get another Hadronox here.
Yeah, Katrina Muerte is interesting. It might create something that might help, but it's too slow at this point because
Yeah, it's way too slow.
yeah, especially against this big board. Really, the best thing for GingerNinja was not killing was the fact that this cube didn't die right away.
Yes, but
Um,
how?
But this Floop sitting in the hand just the whole game will definitely come in clutch when it does get played. I would guess it would be either now next turn, depending on how this board looks afterwards, or yeah, now we can just get another N'Zoth, God of the Deep down.
We don't even have to. We can play Witching Hour and Carnivorous Cute, or just drop
Yeah.
Hadronox itself.
Yeah, you're right. Hadronox being drawn right off the top is really good. I think I like the Witching Hour, personally. Okay.
We're going with second N'Zoth here.
Yeah. Not
That's also
bad.
going to give us a Hadronox.
Now we're gonna coin out the Mutanus and eat something. What's for dinner? It is the Sky. It is the
Skeletal Dragon. All right.
the second Skelly Dragon. But instantly, the second Scream is drawn and played. So still saving the board for now, but Witching Hour is now available again. And it draws N'Zoth off the top.
Wow.
I don't know how GingerNinja comes back from all these boards.
Nah,
It's just a
this
new
next
board
board
every
is not gonna is just the second screen being used into that being drawn is very, very difficult. There is N'Zoth if he wants to try and contest with his own N'Zoth. It looks like he's probably going to be forced into it, but the survival of the fittest will make this board so much more clearable.
Well, and after 2 Psychic Screams,
Legendary battle.
Yeah.
that survival of the fittest is pretty juicy.
Yeah, I think you just have to
You
rip
have
it.
to.
If I'm
It's
being
gotta come
honest, it creates such an easy way to clear the board because you have 2 5 attack minions. So they'll go up. You'll have minions that'll go up to the attack where they cleanly trade and allow for face to be pushed.
Yep,
Doesn't
I
even-
think this is going to be the decider here.
Yeah, I think I died. Okay, he wants to push 16 instead of 20.
Doesn't even
But
matter at this
it's
point.
fine. It doesn't matter. Even with this Light Shower Elemental draw, he's gonna even go for a new Fate. Gets Eternal Servitude. I think. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's over, and there we go. The conceit comes out.
All right, TheCyberon gets it.
TheCyberon gets to go on to the finals.
There you have it.
All right, TheCyberon taking
Yeah.
the win, 3-2. All right, well, let me check in with them and see if they're interested in chatting with us.
Sure.
Hello, everybody. Great games. Congrats to both of you. TheCyberon, congrats on the win. Ginger, congrats. I mean, hey, anytime these matches go to 5, very good games are being had, so well done by both.
Mhm. Thank you.
Thanks, Nate.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me first start off with TheCyberon. First off, congratulations on the win. You're making your way to the finals. You face Jordan in the finals next week. So congratulations on that. Big.
Thanks a lot, man.
And hey, let me ask you, what was your approach to deck building this week? And then I'll switch over and ask Ginger the same question.
For me, initially, I thought of doing either Nazov or Yogg-Saron. I thought of Mecha'thun, but I don't really have any good cards for Mecha'thun. And Mecha'thun is, I mean, you can play like Mecha'thun Warlock or something like that. I'm not very sure of the strategy. So in the end, I went with Nazov. And I was looking through my existing deck list. Like I have like Demon Hunter, Winter Demon Hunter. And I was also looking at some other stuff like High-Ender Shaman, High-Ender Mage. And actually, I didn't really know what to do. So I was thinking, okay, maybe I bring some decks. Some decks that are more late game oriented. And I thought of bringing like 2 winner decks and 2 non-winner decks. In case you get like Albatross or something like that, So I was thinking of bringing, because Defector Demon Hunter has always been one of the decks that I enjoy playing. I mean, I do play it casually, not competitively, but I do enjoy the playstyle. And the deck is very special because you have Zai the Incredible. So if you are left with 3 cards, if you are left with Zai, Nazov, and Zola, you basically play Zai and Zola the Zai, and then play Nazov like infinitely, forever and ever. So actually, I wanted to do it earlier in the game, but I didn't manage to pull it off. And that was the first deck that I thought of. The second deck was basically RPG Mage, but instead of the Dragon package, I changed it to a Death Factor package. So I brought like Katut Defender, Death Lord, and something else. I can't really remember what I brought. But yeah, I kind of changed the package to be a Death Factor value package. And that was the second deck that I thought of. And the third deck, yeah, basically Hedronok Grid. I think everyone thought of that. But my deck was more ready because I also included Loop. And for that reason, I didn't include the Open Summons, Bug Off, because they are 4 mana. And if I play Open Summons, I will summon the Fluke.
Right.
The Fluke is there to create extra value, like a second Nazov, a second Hedronox, or a second Carnivorous Cube. Yeah, as you can see, I put in a Carnivorous Cube to be able to deal with the mirror. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play the mirror on Grid Match, but it's okay because I still managed to do something like Hedronox, and then change hour to revive the Hedronox, followed by Carnivorous Cube. So I keep having a lot of pawns in the way. And for the final deck, I was thinking between Reno Shaman or Death Factor Priest. But I was thinking if I were to bring Reno Shaman, I 3 out of 4 decks that are Highlander, and that would feel a bit boring. So I was thinking, okay, I bring 2 non-Highlander decks. Okay, the 4th deck was banned by Ginger. He banned my Priest. Actually, I was very curious to know why he banned the Priest instead of my Druid. But yeah, the Priest deck is basically a Death Factor Press Priest. So it has cards that steals cards from your opponent's deck, like Crystalline Oracle, Shifting Shade. And it is quite a late game oriented deck because after you finish the quest, you play Amara, and you can sell the Amara and get back to 40 health again. Or if not, you can also sell the Nazov. And of course, Priest decks normally include like Maxi Sarah, Psychic Scream, and all that kind of stuff. So these are the 4 decks that I thought of. Like all of them are quite late game oriented. But I didn't want it to feel like everything was big minions. So I brought some smaller minions so that I'll be able to have some early game. Because in the past season, I remember playing against Jordan. There was this challenge that we bring minions that are 5 cost and above. And I remember I was so freaking greedy. Every card in the deck was like either 3 cost or 5 cost and above. So I lost to his so-called Baku Shaman. Yeah, so I kind of learned my lesson from there. And I built my deck around such that I have some early game and some late game. And last thing is, because the T-Rex is banned this week, so I brought Mecha'thun to counter any of the like Nazors, any old gods. Or if not old gods, can be anything like Hong or like Divanas or whatever it is. So yeah.
Very good. Hey, thank you for sharing your thoughts. I appreciate it. And great games, great decks. Switching over, GingerNinja, if I can ask you, kind of the same question. What was your approach to deck building this week?
Thanks, Nate, and congrats to Cyber. He did very well. I'm honored to
Yeah,
lose
cool.
here. I never expected to get this far. But essentially, when I saw the theme for the week, the first god I crafted golden was N'Zoth, and I immediately thought of Mill Rogue because I play mostly Rogue. Very little Priest, as might have been obvious in the games today. But as soon as I saw that I could play Mill Rogue, I decided on N'Zoth, and then I just sort of built packages I liked. Like I like playing Tonk Hunter, and like Death Rattle Hunter had advantages into sort of greedy decks where you could sort of just either go wide with the Sylvanas board, which happened in the Druid game, was it? And also, I just like the Tonks. I like doing damage to face. But what else did I bring? The Druid was sort of an obvious inclusion because Hadronox is just broken, I think, in this format, especially when you can bring it back several times, as long as you don't play a little Albatross. And then the last deck, Schmoopie really liked the deck and encouraged me to bring it in testing, and I really liked it in testing because I could play Oakheart and it just dumped a pile of stats, and there's a lot of decks that really struggled to deal with it. And then it was just a unique deck that I thought could go favorably into some of the more greedy decks because it just kept putting stats on board, and if you didn't have an answer, you could just Divine Spirit, Inner Fire, and OTK most decks except for Druid. Druid was the one I didn't really have a good game plan for. I felt that matchup was close to unwinnable if he could get Hadronox out. I was debating on putting in the 1-mana tradable Silence, but I really thought Sphere was a better card. And in deck submission, I thought I put in Hysteria instead of Mass Hysteria, not that it would have mattered. I essentially thought that was going to be the worst matchup that I had, and I think it ended up being that way. I mostly went for a fun approach and play decks that can't really be played on ladder, and yeah, that was my sort of thoughts behind what I chose.
Excellent, very good, thank you, I appreciate it. NHL, do you have any questions for either of our players for tonight?
Normally I do, but I think that was pretty thorough in terms of their ideas and their game plans. So I think a lot of the nitty-gritty stuff was covered. Really great job by both sides. It was a lot of fun. Some very grindy matches tonight, very swingy too. And congrats to both of you for getting this far. CybeRon, best of luck in the finals against my friend Jordan. And I'm looking forward to seeing what both of you come up with in your Build a Ban week coming up.
Oh, yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Restrictions for the final week are awfully tricky, so all of our previous rules are kind of out the window, and you get to choose the bans for your opponent. Be very, very interesting. Before we wrap up, Doctorfeesh, you have any final questions for our players here?
Did we lose Fish?
I was muted. No, I don't have anything extra to add. It was really fun to watch and really fun to cast, especially the Hunter deck. I really like the Hunter deck.
It was awfully fun seeing the Sylvanas do Sylvanas things with the cube and the play dead and the feign death. It's just we saw it coming, and it was a lot of fun, and I think Albatross was one of the MVPs of the night as well. Just kind of disrupting the Reno decks, and But excellent games by both of you. So yeah, thank you very much for letting us cast the matches tonight. It was a lot of fun, and thank you for participating in the listener series. Before we wrap up, GingerNinja, do you have any shout outs that you want to give, or anything that you want to plug?
Yeah, certainly. Just like to shout out to Schmoopie, who helped test most weeks with me, and it's a shame we both bowed out at the same week, but I think it's nice that we both got this far, and been really fun sort of brewing up some crazy ideas with him. So very thankful to have somebody to bounce ideas off of. And thank you to the casters as well as you, Nate, for helping to set this all up. It's been a lot of fun and a lot less tedious than ladder. So I really appreciate
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it. And congrats again on top 4. TheCyberon, anyone that you would like to shout out or anything that you'd like to plug before we call it a night here?
For me, I would guess that those people that I will shout out to are more of like my friends in real life, because I told some of my close friends that we're taking part in the semi-finals for the tournament, and I mean most of them don't play Hearthstone, but they kind of got an idea that Hearthstone is this card game, so they were quite supportive of my games, and also shout out to you guys for organizing this stream to cast our games and to also comment on our games. After this game, so after the call, I probably go and watch the stream again. But yeah, actually, it was a pretty fun time, and I was quite nervous this morning, to be frank. Like, I was thinking, okay, if I win, I'll get to face Jordan, which is fun. If I lose, so be it. I had fun, I enjoyed the process, I enjoyed the game. So, but yeah, actually, like what he just said, actually, I didn't expect to come this far. I was quite shocked, actually. And actually, it was weird because for the first 5 weeks, actually, I only played for 2 weeks. The last 3 weeks, my opponents just also, so I got 3 wins all the way. So I don't really know, actually. Like, I somehow managed to make it to the top 8 because my opponents were not able to play those games. And last week, I played against Steve, and I got lucky win against him. This week, I think I got pretty lucky also. Like, for the first game, actually, the pre-game Mage, he played quite heavily. Yeah, like, I think there was this point of time where I took too long to make my turn, and I missed like 50 over damage to face, something like that. And I also got quite a few important such as Bundle. And yeah, for the final game, I was super lucky. I discovered the survival of the fittest of my nature targets. Everything was like plus 4. Super straight board. Yeah, so I would say actually I got pretty lucky also, I would say. But credits to Ginger for having fun also and playing with me. He did a very good job also. I think everyone enjoyed it. It's nice to hear. So yes.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you. Great games by both of you, and we'll get the match posted up on YouTube probably within the next day or two if you're interested in watching the playback and kind of see you can see it from caster vision where you can see both people's hands, and it's very interesting. But all right, everybody. Well, that's a wrap for us. I want to say a big thank you to NHLFan and Doctorfeesh for casting with me tonight. Really appreciate your time and energy and insight. So that was excellent. And so before we wrap up, also NHL, anything that you want to plug or shout out before we leave here?
Yeah, really putting me on the spot. I'm sure everyone knows I write for the Temple Storm Snapshot. So we're going to have a report on Tuesday. And there's some interesting takes on there, I'd say. Something that you won't notice, though, is there's not a lot of really off-meta things. And I have a feeling this meta has the opportunity for a lot of, like, very niche decks that we haven't explored. There's a few decks that I've been working on that have a lot of potential for making a splash in the meta. They're probably not great, but they're very close to being real. Get Me Off tried one in a solitaire rogue inspired by Inman. I actually featured a list of a paladin deck that takes a brand new approach to things, so check it out. if you want to try something new and different that might be able to win against certain decks in the meta, definitely look forward to it. So
excellent. Well, we'll be on the lookout for the next Tempo Storm Wild Meta Snapshot this coming Tuesday. And Doctorfeesh, last but not least, anything that you would like to say or shout out or anything like that?
Well, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to do some casting. It's a blast. As for shout outs, I guess I do stream myself sometimes. Twitch.tv/my username. And really other than that, I'm generally around in the Discord if people want to do co-ops and stuff. I'm also available for that. Just having a fun time. Playing Wild with friends is always good.
Love it. Awesome. Well, yeah, it was great to have you. Thank you so much. Definitely appreciate your time and energy. So that is it for us. The timeline going forward is a little bit different because our last matchup of the season is the finals. So next week, the bans are due by Thursday, October the 14th. Decks are due by Tuesday the 19th, and then we will sort out, if we can, trying to cast our finals. So we'll all be looking forward to that, and you can find out about it more next week on Born to Be Wild, or by checking out our Discord, and everything can be found online at borntobewildhs.com. And with that, we will call it an evening. Thank you all very much for your time, and we will see you next week.
Born to be wild.